Here's your news for September 8th, 2020. And your headlines for today include what happened before Monday Night Raw started to air. Breaking news, major development from WWE with regards to WWE wrestlers using third-party applications. WWE put on blast during CNN broadcast by former US presidential candidate. Brodie Lee greatly insults Vince McMahon in a new video. Roman Reigns' WrestleMania 37 opponent is revealed. Interesting pick by WWE. Why WWE wrestlers' content was removed from WWE Network. Finally, Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania 37 opponent is revealed. Why WWE are going in this direction. WWE wrestler seriously injured on Raw, nature of the injury revealed, and more. We're starting with WWE today as the company waited until late in the day on Monday to hype matches for Raw, and that's because people backstage were waiting for Vince McMahon's approval. Ringside News reports that talent was pitched last night by writers, according to a source, and we're told that Vince McMahon hasn't read it yet, with the belief being that McMahon only read Raw's script for the first time on the jet en route to Orlando. The company reportedly only had 3 matches together to release by 6:30 in the evening, and a tenured writer close to the situation noted that it was crazy how it took until 6:30 to get just 3 matches approved and sent out for promotion. It was also noted by the source that Raw has not held together since Paul Heyman was removed, and that Ed Koskey is the, quote, creative mover and shaker on the SmackDown side. There are reportedly a lot of day of show rewrites on the Blue brand, but that's nothing compared to Raw, as John Bakstrom and Ryan Ward are unable to get to Vince so he can sign off on matches. So if you were wondering why WWE didn't promote much before Raw, now you know. And given that didn't give them enough time to get superstars' feedback, it's chaotic as usual on Monday nights. Even when pressed for time, WWE held a meeting with talent before Raw to further establish their edict to stop all third-party deals, like working on Cameo and Twitch, within 30 days. Several people in attendance spoke about how the information they'd received was confusing, both in the original letter that came out and in the days since, and WWE reportedly only held this meeting because several members of the locker room are refusing to comply with this rule. WWE told talent that YouTube and Twitch channels would be allowed as long as no WWE intellectual properties appear, and WWE will apparently be monitoring channels of the likes of AJ Styles, Dakota Kai, Mandy Rose, and more. Interestingly, the WWE said it's up to talent to come to management in the first instance to clarify what trademarks and IPs the company owns, rather than WWE telling the superstars themselves. There's several ongoing discussions as to the rights of performers and how they may use these platforms in the future. As with the ongoing situation, there's no shortage of superstars who have taken to these third parties to increase their income and fill their downtime. Sportskeeda previously reported that WWE was planning on launching its own services similar to Twitch and Cameo, which was later confirmed in a statement by WWE, as there's a belief that Cameo accounts will devalue personal meet-and-greet earnings in the long run. As far as Cameo goes, no one knows what the reported deal between the site and the WWE is, and hopefully we'll find out more when we get to the Superstars cutoff date on October 2nd. More third-party news, as one person who's made it clear he wants more answers is Xavier Woods. Appearing on the Twitch channel for wrestling gamers New Legacy Inc., Woods spoke about his confusion, as it's unclear whether his Up Up Down Down channel will be safe, and said, "I have no idea what's going on. I think I'm fine, I think most people are fine, but we'll find out. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. I wish I knew more, but I don't, unfortunately. We're gonna stream as much as we can for as long as we can." At one point, it was believed that it was solely the fault of Lana, who took a sponsorship from Bang Energy Drink, though we now know that there's plenty of factors behind this rule. On the stream, Woods also continued his campaign to get a hosting gig on G4 TV, but with WWE doubling down on their new edict, comparing themselves to Disney and Warner Brothers in regards to protecting their intellectual property, there might not be too many options for Woods or any superstars from now on. WWE's new rule has gained the company a lot of attention. As though Vince McMahon had reasons to shut the third-party deals down, many people aren't happy. Former presidential candidate Andrew Yang called out WWE's practice of identifying their superstars as independent contractors, And after some thought Yang's tweet was a bid to become US Secretary of Labor, he went on CNN to make his points clear about WWE, saying, "The post you're talking about was my categorizing the misclassification of professional wrestlers as independent contractors, which is completely ridiculous given that the WWE has controlled their name and likeness for years and controls their activities in many ways." Yang also said that he would help move the country forward in any possible way if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win this November's election, and given that Vince McMahon doesn't want to change from his status quo, Yang added that Vince should hope that his old friend Donald Trump gets re-elected. It seems the fate of WWE superstars now hangs in the balance of this November's election, and it may not be long until superstars get their proper protections as employees rather than independent contractors. Over to AEW now, as Kip Sabian recently took a shot during All Out at WWE's new mandate blocking all third-party activities, and now Brody Lee has gotten in on the action. During the latest Being the Elite, Lee called out Evil Uno for having a Twitch account, and after asking Uno what his name is on Twitch, which Uno gave him, Lee replied saying, "Not any more." It's no secret that much of Lee's character is based on McMahon, and with the Dark Order no longer allowed any third-party deals, we'll have to see if the reigning AEW TNT champion tries to strike a group deal with Cameo, just like WWE. Back to Raw now, and though the commentary team usually consists of Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Samoa Joe, there was a change this week. Instead of Phillips, Michael Cole appeared instead, though it's unknown why Phillips was off the show. Given the ongoing global situation, there's one big reason why he could be missing, but hopefully Phillips will be back next week, and there aren't any issues that keep him from coming back to work. This week's Raw also saw Cedric Alexander help the Hurt Business by betraying his tag team partners Ricochet and Apollo Crews, giving the impression that Cedric had joined the group. Later in the show, MVP officially introduced Alexander as the group's newest member, even giving the former Cruiserweight champion a shirt to make things official. Defending himself, Alexander said he was going broke when teaming with the likes of Crews and Ricochet and didn't want to sacrifice his body and career for someone else's championship opportunity. This explanation was cut short by Crews, Ricochet, and the Viking Raiders, who brawled with the Hurt Business until an 8-man tag was set, and time will tell how the High Flyer does as a heel and as part of the Hurt Business. We're focusing on wrestling's hottest free agent Brock Lesnar next, as it's believed he'll return to WWE, especially now that a WrestleMania challenge has been laid down. Speaking on Ariel Helwani's MMA show, recently retired MMA fighter Daniel Cormier laid out the challenge, saying he wants to fight Brock in WWE, and described a WrestleMania match against the Beast as a, quote, good time. Whilst Cormier originally planned WrestleMania 37, he added that he'd need a year to get ready, so fans can expect to see these two face off at WrestleMania 38. WWE have been interested in working with Cormier for a while, especially after an MMA match between himself and Brock was teased at UFC 226, and having Cormier come in for a UFC vs WWE match would certainly get more eyeballs on the match. While Lesnar isn't with WWE at this time, he's almost certainly going to return when the deal is right, and having Cormier booked over a year from now would certainly be a big money match worth returning for. Over to SmackDown, as though Universal Champion Roman Reigns will defend his gold against cousin Jey Uso at Clash of Champions, he hasn't escaped The Fiend just yet. Aligning himself with Paul Heyman and taking the gold from Wyatt, many expected a Reigns-Wyatt feud, and in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer explained why Wyatt wasn't even on SmackDown, saying, "The idea seems to be save Fiend, his WrestleMania opponent in the original planning that Vince changed, to a later pay-per-view." Meltzer's comment does raise a lot of questions, as we're wondering when The Fiend and the Big Dog will face off one-on-one, and why did Vince McMahon change the original WrestleMania plans for Wyatt vs. Roman to Reigns vs. Goldberg before the Big Dog opted not to compete? Whatever the answers may be, it's clear that The Fiend isn't finished with the Big Dog just yet, and fans can look forward to seeing the duo face off down the line. Back to Raw now, and whilst the company waited to promote matches this week, we've already got 2 matches confirmed for next week. On Raw next week, Asuka will defend her Raw Women's Championship against Mickie James, who answered an open challenge from the Empress this week, and the two defeated Lana and Natalya in tag team action. Next week's show will also see a champion vs. champion match, as the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, will take on SmackDown Tag Team Champions Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. This match came around when the Blue Superstars showed up in the Thunderdome last night, and while it's not noted if either sets of tag gold will be on the line, this should make for a huge match. Now, WWE recently added a ton of new content from indie promotions to the network, but now some of that content is being removed. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that a match between Julian Pace, CIMA, Daniel McCobb, and Brent Banks was removed from the 2019 WXW Toronto show after the recent claims of misconduct, and an angle with David Starr and Walter was also cut. Pace was released from his WXW contract when claims of inappropriate conduct came out from WXW Academy students regarding the behavior of Pace and Skillet, and the matches of theirs were also edited out of WXW Shotgun 2020 episodes, which are yet to air. Starr also faced claims of misconduct and abuse by an ex-girlfriend, which led to many promotions cutting ties from him, and WWE will no doubt look closely at what content they're putting out on the network. And finally, today we're looking at the 8-man tag between the Hurt Business and the Viking Raiders, Ricochet and Apollo Crews, that led to a very nasty injury. During one sequence in the match, Ivar of the Raiders hit a suicide dive and appeared to land awkwardly, twisting his ankle. He threw up the X sign repeatedly, an indication that a major injury has just happened, and the match was quickly ended despite Cedric's pin on Ricochet only reaching a 2 count. This strange ending was acknowledged by the commentary team, and we can only imagine the rushed finish was due to Ivar's injury. It's possible that Ivar may have broken his ankle, which would mean a huge loss to WWE's tag team division, especially after two teams, the Iconics and the Golden Role Models, just broke up. A broken ankle would also mean Ivar would be out for a lot longer than if it was just a sprain, and we can only hope that the injury wasn't too severe and that he and Eric are back in the ring soon.